Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome back. It is Thursday morning, and this is Thursday Morning Live. One thing I can say is if were not awake yet, that music will definitely wake you up in the morning, that's for sure. So I hope that you are having a great week. Here we are almost to the end of the week, and not sure what your intentions were, but only you would know that. And I hope that you have stayed focused and things are going well for you. Hey, I want to remind you, coming up in October 17th and 18th is our 5th annual multifamily summit. This year, buckle up. The stage is going to be packed. 20 well-known speakers and panelists from around the country. You know, we have a high-performing panel that of top producing operators that have operated and owned over 100,000 units in the last few years combined. We're going to be talking about raising capital. I have a number of service providers. My guest this morning is going to be at the summit this year. Michelle Fitzpatrick with Northern Bank. We're going to be talking about 1031 exchange. And if you don't know what that is, you might want to hang around a little bit. Grab your coffee, buckle up for this morning, and let me bring Michelle in here. Hey, good morning. How are you?
Mike, how are you?
I'm good. It's been a while.
It has indeed. It's good to see you. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, it's awesome. You know, I always like connecting with you. We get to connect maybe once or twice a year and see what's going on in the 1031 world. And so
lots of exciting things happening in 1031. It has been an interesting 18 months for sure. With interest rates going up and inventory slowing down, 1031 has had some, ups and downs in this business right now. So,
yeah. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. So one thing I always like to do, Michelle, is I always start my show with one question, and that is, in one word, what best describes you personally and professionally?
I would say honest. And if I could add, I know it's one answer, one word, to a fault. So that comes with good and bad. Sometimes I'm a little too honest. People don't necessarily always want to hear what I have to say, but I'll say it and I'll be honest with you always.
I think you have to be, though, whether it's in business or in personal relationship, whatever, you've got to be able to get that out,
Yeah, I mean, there's in life, I tell my kids, I'm like, I'm always going to be the one that's going to be honest with you. I'm always going to be the one that keeps you grounded. You have to have that some sort of grounding and foundation. But in business, we come across a lot of people where sometimes an exchange works, sometimes it doesn't. And I'm going to be honest with you. I want to let you know that what's best for you and what's going to work best.
Yeah. So let's talk about that for a minute. You're with Northern Bank, just north of Boston.
That's right.
And you do 1031 exchanges. And I know that I have some listeners on this morning that don't know what a 1031 is or what an exchange is. Why don't you explain that, and we can talk a little bit about the process around that?
Sure. So if you're an investor, a 1031 exchange is absolutely something that you should know. A lot of people think it's a little hidden IRS secret, and it's not. It's been a 1031 exchange has been in the tax code since 1923. So it has been around for over 100 years. And what it allows you to do, it allows investors to defer their capital gains taxes when selling an investment property. So if you're selling an investment property and you exchange it into another investment property, you can defer your capital gains taxes, both your federal and your state taxes, which is significant. I mean, we're in Massachusetts, people are deferring usually around 30 to 35%. California, they're going to be deferring 30 to 35% in their taxes. So it's significant.
So if I exchange, or if I, defer my taxes, how long can I defer my taxes for?
We have a fun little saying in the industry that says swap until you drop. Exchange until you die. Keep exchanging until you die, and then your heirs get a stepped up in basis, which is a really, really great tax benefit, and it's a really good way to estate plan, if that's something that is interesting to you or that benefits you.
Is a 1031 exchange right for everybody? This will be an honest question, right? So we're going to go back to your.
No, not for everybody. Absolutely not. There are some people that say, you know what, Michelle, I want cash. I need the cash because I want to pay cash to put my kids through school. Well, exchanging it might not be the way to do it. If you absolutely want the cash. Now, for me, I always tell people, if they're selling something and they're going to invest in something else, what better place to invest than real estate is my personal opinion. So to sell a property and pay 30% in capital gains taxes to put it in the market or put it in stocks or something else, now you're starting 30% less equity. If you rolled it into a 1031 exchange and you put it into another investment property, now you're 30% more equity. So, I mean, no, not for everybody, but yes, it is a really great tax benefit for most people.
So is there a dollar amount where maybe it makes sense or doesn't make sense to exchange? You know, like
100.
if somebody has $100,000, does it make sense to defer that, or is it better if you have 500,000?
You know, everybody's values are different. I did an exchange personally and I deferred $60,000 because I didn't want to pay $20,000 in taxes. So
Yeah.
that was a big deal for me. And that's been a big deal for some clients. Some people may not see the value in it. However, there's not really a dollar amount. But the key to a 1031 exchange is that you have to buy something that's equal or greater in value to what you sell. So if you do not buy equal or greater in value, then you're going to be paying some tax anyway. So we have to figure out really what your tax basis is going into the exchange to determine whether or not it makes sense if you're buying down to value.
So is real estate the only thing I can exchange in?
So yes, you have to buy real estate investment property. Now, that's not to say that you have to buy a bricks and mortar property on your own. If you sell a commercial building, you don't have to go buy another commercial building or buy another residential property you can go into a DST or a syndication that will allow you to, as long as it's structured properly and that you become a tenant in common and you're an actual owner of the property, it works. So REITs don't really work, but a DST or a syndication will.
But a syndication like what I do, where we raise private capital from investors and partner with them in real estate opportunities.
That's right. Yep. As long as, again, it just has to be structured properly, but yes.
What if I'm selling, what if I'm selling out of a gas and oil deal or crypto, some of these other alternative investments that are out there today? Can I exchange coming out of those or going into those?
Personal property doesn't qualify anymore. So as of 2017, with that tax reform, they removed personal property from the 1031 exchange tax code. So really, since January 1st, 2018, we've really only been able to exchange real estate and specifically investment real estate or used for business purposes.
Yeah, that's interesting. How about this with the difference between doing an exchange and or having the ability to capitalize on bonus depreciation, from year one, or accelerated depreciation. Can you talk a little bit about the difference in there?
Yeah, so they allowed the bonus depreciation for personal property. So, when we were lobbying back in 2017 to keep 1031 exchange alive, the real estate boards like the National Association of Realtors, our association, the Federation of Exchange Accommodators, we lobbied really hard to preserve 1031 exchange. Now, the big companies like the big property owners like the Hertz and the Avises and the car rental companies that really maximize 1031 exchange, they didn't lobby so hard because they got that bonus depreciation, and it worked out for them so that they didn't necessarily need to preserve that 1031 exchange. So we'll see what happens if that bonus depreciation is going to continue.
Do you think that what's the sentiment that you're seeing at the bank with bonus depreciation? Do you think that they're going to reenact that and start over again, or?
We will see. I would think so. It's working, but we'll see. Unfortunately, I missed our annual lobbying efforts down in DC. So every year, the Federation of Exchange Accommodators, again, our association of qualified intermediaries, we go down and do a fly-in to lobby to preserve 1031 exchange. And it really is an eye-opening experience. If you've never been part of politics, like I have never been, to go in and understand how it works and what you're doing, it really is eye-opening. So.
Yeah. So, it's interesting, and everybody has a different opinion about it right now.
Of course. Yeah.
And I have to wonder how much of it is really going to be reflective of, or do we wind up with a Democrat again or a Republican this time?
Right.
We're getting so close to the election here. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, though, with a lot of things going on. And you said it early on that it's been an interesting 18 months, and it has been.
With interest rates up, I mean, it has changed the landscape of real estate across the board, from residential to commercial and everything in between. It really has changed banking and real estate, 1031 exchange. It's been quite the 18 months.
Yeah, it really, you said it, it really has changed the landscape. So, hey, I don't want to get into a lot of detail this morning about 1031s and timelines and how you do it and all that. What I want people to know is that you're speaking at my upcoming summit in October, and I'm really excited to have you back again this year.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited to be back too. I really enjoy the Multifamily Summit. You put such a great panel of guest speakers and panelists together. I learned so much from the last summit. I did my little 1 hour or a half hour, or whatever I did, and then stayed on all day. It was enlightening.
Yeah. But what'll be great is that you'll be able to give all that detail. You'll be able to talk about it in detail. So I'm going to urge people that, hey, you know what? Come and listen to Michelle talk about, 1031 and exchange and the timelines, and start to evaluate for yourself. Is it right for you, or is it not right for you and what you're doing? You may have a property that you're selling out of right now and coming, looking for something else to do. How are you building wealth for yourself? And I think that's one thing about the 1031 space, is that it really helps build generational wealth.
Yes.
People talk about that buzzword a lot, generational wealth, but there are certain things that really help with that. So I know that you're going to go into a lot of detail on that and cover a lot of things. So.
Yeah. And I think you just stole my tagline, because that's what I say to everybody. It really does help you preserve your profits and build your wealth faster. So it's such a great vehicle, and I wish everybody knew about it. There are so many people that call me and say, Michelle, I just sold a property last week and somebody just told me about a 1031 exchange.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's too late at that point, but I get that
Right.
call more often than I should. And I always want to say, you should be firing your advisors. You should be firing your attorney, firing your real estate agent, and firing your CPA to let you get to that point.
Right. So, it's interesting, and we were talking about this before the show, but there's the educated and the uneducated. And you seem to be getting a big handful of educated people coming to you. They've already, designated properties, and they know where they're going with their exchange. So it's interesting. You're kind of talking about that other group of people now. So I just encourage people again, be at the summit this year, because you're going to get a plethora of information and knowledge, not just from you, but from the other speakers. Michelle, I have over 20 speakers this year, and most of them are well known around the country as owners, operators. We're going to have Dugan Kelly on, who's going to talk about securities law. I have Karen Hall on, who's going to talk about self-directed IRAs. And then Neil Bawa is going to be talking about markets and the environment and what he sees, and he has some really interesting things to say about the environment right now and the market and how we're going to see a rebound a lot sooner than a lot of people think. So it's interesting. And then Veena Jetty, who, she's got $1 billion in assets under management. She'll be the keynote on Friday. So it's going to be a really great event. So, hey, even you, hang around a little bit, right? And
I learned so much last time I was on it. It was really enlightening. Especially, I loved that self-directed IRA because I thought that was such a great vehicle, again, that people don't take advantage of enough.
Right, exactly. So yeah, there's a lot of tools in the business, right? So whether somebody is brand new coming in the business or somebody's been in the business for a while, but they need a good shot in the arm, and you're not, there's a lot of live events out there, and I go to live events too, but this is great for the person who maybe can't afford to travel or can't take the time to go for 3 or 4 days to a live event. This will be at home, in your office. Watch what you can. It's going to be recorded. People will be able to get that recording if they want it. So a lot of options with a virtual event. So.
And what I liked about it too is that you have it broken down in a way that it makes the information so digestible. It's so easy to you preface it and people break down the information because they are specific experts in their field.
Right.
And I look forward to this event. I do.
Yeah. It kind of flows. When I started doing it, I was doing it for 3 days and it just seemed long. So now we do it for 2 days, but we work right through lunch and no breaks. So it's all, it's one speaker after another. So you get a lot of, like I said, if you need a shot in the arm, and I know some operators out there right now need a shot in the arm. So just based on how the environment is, so.
Yep.
Let me ask you this. So if you were somebody who was, looking at the website right now, and the website is multifamily24.com. If you're thinking about going to the summit this year, go to multifamily24. There it is. And you can register now. But if somebody is sitting at the website right now thinking about, God, should I go to this thing? Should I spend the money? And listen, right now I have an early bird special going on for $37. I mean, if you got one piece of knowledge from each speaker, it's priceless, really.
Yep.
But what would you tell somebody who's thinking about coming to the summit as an attendee? Why should they be there?
It's absolutely worth it. From the investor who owns one property to the investor who owns multi-properties, it doesn't matter. You can pick up something from pretty much every single speaker that you won't know about. So again, I'll talk about preserving your profits, building your wealth. Everybody's talking about building your wealth. And that's really the key to the entire summit, I think.
Yeah. I think that's great. And a lot of people say, oh, I want to get wealthy or I want to be rich. Well, what does that mean? You got to figure out in your own mind. I was on the phone with a coaching client the other day, and he was saying, oh, I said, what are your goals? What do you want to accomplish? He goes, well, I want to be in real estate, and I said, no, we have to get really clear on what you want, right? Because I think until we're really clear on what we want, no matter whether it's real estate or cars or artwork or whatever it is that you're doing for yourself, you got to get really clear on it and then be
Specific
intentional.
Goals. Yep. Absolutely specific goals.
You got to draw a line in the sand and take some action. So
that is correct. You've got it.
Great.
You've got it. And I think that people are really going to, again, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. I benefited so much from the multifamily summit. Being in the business, I own investment property, I do 1031 exchanges, I work for a bank. I see a lot of sides to it. So the fact that I can come out from and learn a lot from each speaker, it's saying a lot about the people that you're bringing in.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you can't be an expert in everything. So
Right.
you have to rely on experts to really guide you through. So
Yeah. I think that's great too, because, that's what's important about a team, right? And
100%.
people say, I've had people ask me, how do you build a team? I said, well, first you get really clear on what you're really good at. And then you go find people that are really good at the other things that need to happen in order to do a syndication. And that's how you put a good team together. And, fortunately, I have a great partner and a great underwriter on my team. And, the three of us just really work well together. So that's what I inspire for other people, is to be able to do that. So,
Yeah. Yep. You definitely need a good group of people around you to be able to be successful. There's no question. And whether that's business partners, family, it doesn't matter. You definitely need that support.
right. Well, listen, Michelle, if people don't want to wait till the summit, but they want to get a hold of you, what's the best way for people to reach out to you, find out more about 1031 exchanges? Maybe they're in the process, maybe they need to get started, whatever stage they're at. How do they reach out to you?
Sure. So whatever stage you're at, you can always reach out to me. I'm at mfitzpatrick@nbtc.com, which I think is scrolling at the bottom of the screen right now. You can certainly visit our website at nbtc.com, and you'll find our nice little 1031 page within that.
Awesome. Well, listen, thanks for being here. And I certainly am looking forward to seeing you in October. I think are you on Thursday?
I am, yes.
Yep. On October 17th. So
Right.
come to the summit, see Michelle, get more information, more knowledge, be able to take some good action in building your generational wealth. Michelle, it's always a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you,
Love
Mike.
when we get to chat a little bit. And I will look forward to seeing you soon.
I agree. Thanks so much, Mike. I'll see you in October. Bye,
You
everyone.
bet. Thank you. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Have a great week. If I can help in any way throughout the week,